John is a new tenant who just moved into a new apartment. The compound is a lively place filled with two other tenants who seemed to be enjoying life to the fullest. Every evening, music blasted from different rooms and different women came in and went out. His neighbors, Ben and Tundi, had different women every night. It was as if they were running a competition to see who could bring in the most beautiful woman. One evening, while sitting outside, John struck up a conversation with two of his neighbors, Ben and Tundi. They were friendly to John and they quickly accepted John as their new friend. "You are new here, right?" Ben asked, offering him a bottle of beer. "Yes, I just moved in last week," John responded, taking the drink. "You will like this compound, my brother. We live like kings here. No landlord, no stress, just enjoyment." Tunde added with a laugh. Weeks later, John became very close to Ben and Tunde. He admired their confidence and how easily they attracted women. One evening, after watching another set of ladies arrive, he finally asked the question that had been on his mind. "How do you guys do it? I mean, different women every day, just like that." "It's simple. Women love fun. Give them a good time and they will keep coming back," Ben said. Tunde nodded. "You see, John, life is all about enjoying yourself. You work hard, you play hard. Don't let stress kill you." John hesitated for a moment before making his request. "Can you link me up with one of your female friends? I just want to try this lifestyle for once." "Of course we can," Tunde said. "In fact, there is a girl that will be perfect for you. She's very beautiful. Her name is Sonia. She's fun to be with and very friendly. You will like her. I'll give her your number. Don't worry, I'll make everything easy for you. You don't need to stress yourself to get her. I'll talk to her and she will call you." John felt a rush of excitement. He had never done something like this before, but he was ready to experience the kind of fun his neighbors talked about. Sonia arrived that evening, and John was impressed. She is beautiful and confident. They talked, laughed, and drank until late into the night. Eventually, she stayed over. One thing led to another. They had sex and slept off that night. The next morning, John woke up feeling satisfied from the previous night. He had enjoyed himself like his neighbors. He didn't bother to wake Sonia. He allowed her to sleep, and he stepped outside the house to meet Ben and Tunde, who were already outside sipping hot drink. Tunde smiled as he saw John approaching. "Fresh boy, look at your face. Enjoyment has finished you. See how fresh you look this morning." John smiled. "I am madly in love with her already. She didn't even stress me. I wish all girls are like that. Last night was fire, I swear. Tunde, you're a very bad guy. How were you able to convince her?" "That is what we do for a living, my brother," Tunde jokingly said. "Bad guy. Ben, how about the supermarket girl you brought in last night? Is she still inside or she has gone?" "I discharged her as early as 6 a.m. this morning. I am expecting another girl this morning by 10 a.m. Welcome to the club of enjoyment." They all laughed. After a few more minutes of gisting, John decided to check on Sonia and he went back to his apartment. "Sonia, don't be a lazy girl. Wake up, it's 8 a.m. already," he said playfully as he entered the room, but no response. He moved closer to the bed. Sonia was still lying in the same position he had left her. "Sonia," he touched her arm. It was unusually cold and her body was stiff. Fear gripped John He shook her gently. Sonia, is this a joke or something? Please wake up. Still nothing. Her body was very stiff. Sonia, please don't do this to me. Please wake up. He shook her harder, pressing his ear to her chest. He couldn't hear Sonia's heartbeat. He realized Sonia is dead. He stared at her lifeless body. Fear rushed over him. John stumbled out of the room scared. Ben and Tundi noticed his facial expression. Guy, what's wrong? What happened? Ben asked. Sonia, she is not breathing, John said. Tundi frowned. What do you mean she's not breathing? Ben and Tundi rushed into John's room. The moment they saw Sonia's lifeless body, their mood changed. Tundi became very angry. John, what happened? I don't know, John stammered. She was fine last night. We drank, we talked, then we had sex and slept. John, just like that, Ben said. John, tell us the truth. What did you do to her? I swear I did nothing. We've been bringing girls for years in this compound, and nothing like this has ever happened. Even Sonia has visited me severally, and nothing happened. Just the first night she slept in your house, she's dead. Someone that wasn't sick. You are telling me you didn't do her anything? Guys, let's calm down. No, this isn't something we can calm down about. I don't trust John. Something must have happened in this room. Sonia is my friend, and she was never sick. Just yesterday she slept here, and today she's dead. He is telling us he doesn't know what happened to her. John felt anger rising in his chest. Tundi, you are accusing me. What did she do to me? Why would I kill her? Then what killed her? Don't just make me angry. I blamed myself for introducing her to you. John, are you sure you didn't do anything to her? Ben, I didn't do anything to her, I swear. So what do we do now? Tundi looked at Ben in anger. What do you mean, we? You and who? Am I the person that killed her, or did she die in my room? You will ask John what he will do, and not we, because I am not part of this. Tundi angrily walked outside. John was filled with fear and confusion. He turned to Ben, his only friend at the moment. Are you sure Tundi is not going to the police station? John asked. No, I know he cannot. But John, it's just you and I now. Tundi has left. So tell me the truth. What happened to her? Ben asked. Ben, I swear, I don't know. She was fine last night. We drank, we talked, we had sex, then we just slept. Then how come she didn't wake up? I don't know. I don't know, Ben. I had no reason to hurt her. I was with you guys few minutes ago, laughing outside with you. If I had done something, I wouldn't be comfortable gisting with you guys. I didn't even check on her before stepping out. I thought she was just sleeping. I swear, I did nothing to her. Ben studied him for a moment. Okay, let's say I believe you, but we still have a problem, a huge one. What do we do? Ben shook his head. This is serious. If anyone finds out she died in your room, you are finished. No one will care about your side of the story. So what do I do? Maybe we should get rid of the body, Ben suggested. But how do we even do something like that? We can't do it now. This is just 8 a.m. We have to wait till midnight when everybody is asleep. Then we get rid of it. Because if her people come looking for her, you are the first suspect. we have no choice than to get rid of her body. John was restless as he sat in his room. His mind kept replaying the nightmare he had found himself in. Just last night, he had been excited to have a taste of the lifestyle Ben and Tundi had always boasted about. Now, Sonia is dead, and he is trapped in a situation he never imagined. I am coming. I need to talk to Tundi. We need his help, Ben said. John nodded, watching as Ben left the room. Ben found Tundi sitting outside, arms crossed, looking deep in thought. He was still angry from their earlier argument. Tundi, we need to talk, Ben said. About what? About how you suddenly trust John. That's not it. Look, John is in deep trouble. We need to help him. What do you mean we? Please stop saying that. There is no we in this. I don't want to be angry. I am trying to hold myself. Please, I am not involved in this. Tundi, be reasonable. If this gets out, it will affect all of us. People will start asking questions and the police might come snooping around. We need to handle this quietly. You don't get it. I have known Sonia for a very long time. She has been coming here and you've seen her here several times. But just the first time she spends a night with John, she ends up dead in his room. And you just believe him when he said he did nothing to her. I don't think John is lying. What kind of trust is that? Don't forget this guy is still a new tenant. We don't know him too well. He is still a stranger. He hasn't even stayed in this compound for 2 months. For all I know, he did something to Sonia. John doesn't seem like that kind of person. What is even wrong with you? Are you defending him or what? Just because he has been hanging out with us, you think you know him that much? Tundi, I am just trying to fix this before it gets worse. There is nothing to fix. You and John can do whatever you want, but leave me out of it. Tundi stood up and entered his room. Ben walked back to John's room. What did he say? John asked. He wants nothing to do with it. Let's just wait till midnight. They waited until it was 12 midnight and they wrapped Sonia's body in a bedsheet and carried her to an uncompleted building in the estate and dropped her there. For a brief moment, John stared at her face, guilt washing over him, and they left. The moment they stepped back into the compound, they saw Tundi standing outside the gate waiting. Where did you guys take her? Tundi angrily asked. We took her to one of the uncompleted buildings, John admitted. You dumped her body in an uncompleted building. Ben responded. What were we supposed to do? Tundi shook his head. You guys don't understand what you've just done. You think dumping her in an uncompleted building will solve the problem. What if someone finds her? What if they trace her back here? And you, Ben, I am disappointed at you. You know Sonia very well. You know she was never sick. How could you believe John did nothing to her? You don't even know John very well and you are helping him to cover evil. Someone that hasn't even stayed in this compound for 2 months and you are covering him when you don't know what he's capable of doing. You don't even know if he is lying or not. Stop it, Tundi. I did nothing to her. I did not kill her. Stop accusing me. You did not kill her and she ended up dead after spending 1 night with you. Enough. We need to stick together, not turn on each other. Stick together. Listen, I want nothing to do with this. If anyone asks, I know nothing about what you two did. You are on your own. Tundi angrily went inside. John felt the weight of the situation pressing down on him. We just have to act normal and pretend like nothing happened. The next morning, a hard knock was heard on the gate. Tundi, who had barely slept, reluctantly went to open it. His heart pounded as he saw uniformed police officers standing at the entrance. "Good morning, officers," he greeted, forcing a calm expression. The inspector, a tall, no-nonsense man, stepped forward. "We are investigating the death of a young woman whose body was found this morning in one of the uncompleted buildings nearby. A witness said he saw two men from this compound leaving the uncompleted building last night. Do you know anything about the girl's death?" "No, sir, I don't," Tundi responded. "Then gather everyone. I want to see everybody in this compound." Tundi hesitated for a moment before calling out to Ben and John. As they stepped forward, they both kept a straight face, like nothing happened. "Do you know anything about the girl found dead in one of the uncompleted buildings nearby?" the inspector asked, scanning their faces. "No, sir," Ben responded quickly. "I don't know anything." "And you?" the inspector asked John. He also claimed he doesn't know anything. The inspector studied them for a moment, then turned to his men. "Search the whole apartment. Search everywhere." The officers entered each room, one after the other. They found nothing in Ben and Tunde's room, and they entered John's room. And within minutes, the officer stepped out, holding a phone, which Sonia's picture is displayed as a wallpaper. "Sir, we found this phone in his room. The girl is the victim. It's either this phone belongs to her or whoever owns this phone knows the girl," the officer said. "Young man, who owns this phone? It was from your room," the inspector said. Fear gripped John, and he admitted he knows Sonia. "Please, sir, I did not kill her. Last night was her first night in my house. I don't even know her that much. It was Tundi that introduced her to me," John said. "What do you mean I introduced her to you? Was I in your room when she died?" "Officer, yes, I introduced her to him, but I am not part of this. It was John and Ben who took her body to that uncompleted building. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't know they were going to dump her until they did. Sonia was just my friend. And you didn't bother to report, knowing your friend died mysteriously in his room. That makes you an accomplice. If you knew about the death and did nothing, you are as guilty as them. Officers, arrest them." The police handcuffed them and took them away. At the police station, John, Ben, and Tundi were separated. John sat in a small, dimly lit room. His hands cuffed to the table. A senior officer sat across him. "Tell me exactly what happened to Sonia." I didn't kill her." "Then, why did you dump her body in an uncompleted building?" "Because I was scared. She was dead when I woke up. I didn't know what to do." "Do you think I am playing here? For the very last time, what did you do to Sonia?" "Officer, I swear I didn't do anything to her. We just drank and talked. Then we slept. I didn't kill her." The officer beat hell out of John, trying to make him say the truth. Meanwhile, in another room, Ben was sweating after being tortured by the officers. "Do you know Sonia before that night?" one of them asked. "Yes," Ben admitted. "I knew her through Tundi. She has visited him several times." "Then, why did you help dump her body? That makes you an accomplice." "I know," Ben said. "Your friend, John, Did he kill that girl? Officer, I don't know. I only helped him. The officer beat hell out of him, trying to make him say the truth. And Tundi, on the other hand, was also asked a few questions. He claimed to be innocent, but the officers tortured him. 2 days later, the result of Sonia's autopsy came in. The police reviewed the report, then called John, Ben, and Tundi into the interrogation room. The inspector kept the report on the table. We have the cause of her death. The autopsy report shows that she had a high level of cocaine in her system, and she possibly died in her sleep because of the overdose drug she took. Cocaine, overdose drug. But I didn't give her any drug, just a little juice. She must have taken the cocaine before coming to my place. I had no idea. It's my first time meeting her. I don't take cocaine and I don't do drugs. You can run a test on me and confirm. She either took it herself before coming or someone gave it to her when she arrived. But either way, the point is that she died in your room, and instead of calling for help, you idiots dumped her body like garbage. But I wasn't among. I didn't follow them to dump the body, Tundi said. Will you shut up? You didn't dump the body, but you kept quiet. If it was your sister that died, would you keep quiet? You knew your friend was dead, yet you did not report to any of her family members. That makes you an accomplice. Tundi became speechless. He knew he was still in trouble. A month later, John and Ben were sentenced to 5 years in prison for unlawful disposal of a body and obstruction of justice. Tundi, though not directly involved in moving the body, was sentenced for 3 years in prison for failing to report a crime, as the officers led John, Ben, and Tundi towards the prison van. One of the officers walked beside them, shaking his head. He had seen many young men throw their lives away over foolish choices. But this case was particularly pathetic. Now, you all have lost years of your freedom. I hope when you all get out, you will be wiser. Because if you ever forget this lesson, the next mistake might cost you more than prison. It might cost you your life. As they were shoved into the van, John's heart was filled with regret. He regretted asking Tundi to introduce him to one of his female friends. Not every lifestyle is worth admiring. He had admired Ben and Tundi's lifestyle, but just in one night, everything had fallen apart. He had lost years of his freedom because of the lifestyle he admired. He realized that not every lifestyle is worth admiring. Some don't just bring regrets, they take away everything. Be wise or regret forever.